Okay, start na tayo. So this morning, we will have the session on sex determination differentiation, followed by male reproductive physiology. So just like last time, what we'll do is we will go through the formative activity, which is the purpose of the formative activity is to emphasize certain things in the lecture. So we'll answer the formative activity, and then hopefully napanood nyo na yung video so that it will just be a refresher, no, or additional emphasis on the topic. Sige. So this topic, sex determination and differentiation, so it talks about how male and female is determined, no, when it is determined, and then ano yung process of differentiation, no? How once the sex is determined, how does it now actually differentiate into the different male characteristics and female characteristics? Okay, so looking at the first question, match the characteristics used to determine a person's sex. So presence of testes and ovaries, not testes and ovaries, these are the gonads, so that is the gonadal sex. The XX or XY chromosome, siyempre genes yan, di ba? The sex chromosomes, so that's the genetic sex. And the presence of penis or vagina is the phenotypic sex, no? So this is the external genitalia, and part of the phenotypic sex is also the internal genitalia. No? Meron bang uterus, no, for females, meron bang vas deferens for males, no? So these, so we see here, hindi lang siya ganun kasimple, no? That pag XX female, pag XY male, no? Because you can, there something can also interrupt yung appearance ng gonads, no? Something can interrupt yung appearance ng internal external genitalia. Okay, so there can be some incongruity, di ba, in certain situations na ito yung chromosome niya, pero iba yung gonads. Ito yung gonads niya, pero iba yung phenotype, no? So, it's good to be precise, no? When you say that ito yung sex niya, what are you talking about? Is it the phenotype, the gonads, no, or the genes? Any questions, Tita? Any questions? Okay. So, the Y chromosome, the next question, the Y chromosome is important in sex differentiation because it, no? So, the Y chromosome, we see dito sa slide na makita nyo that the presence or absence of the Y chromosome will determine what gonads will develop, no? So the importance of the Y chromosome is it determines if the testis will develop, and then so the process is no, merong Y chromosome. Pag may Y chromosome, meron dong gene, the SRY. Saan na dito? Yan, no? There is a gene, the SRY, and then that SRY will determine whether or not testis or ovaries will develop. So if you have SRY, testis will develop, and then it is the testis, the hormones produced by the testis that will now further develop the internal and the external genitalia into male. No? Pag wala yon, then it will develop into female. Any questions so far? Sige. So at this point, I think the first figure review will shed more light on this. Stop muna ako. Si Magat, are you ready for your figure review?
Wait lang po, Doc. Pwedeng kayo na lang po mag-present tong ano, Doc.
Sandali lang. Hindi ba ba maano, hindi mo mape-present sa device mo?
Try ko po, Doc. Wait lang po.
Recording in progress.
Kaya?
Kita po ba, Doc?
Mhm.
Hello po, good morning. Here, in my figure review, as you can see, we have different figures regarding the Wolffian ducks and the Mullerian ducks. We have here in the number letter A, the undifferentiated. The Wolffian ducks will derive from the uh, male male genitalia or male gonads, and while the Mullerian duck will be for our female gonads. As you can see here, in the letter B, we have the normal male gonads, which you can't see the Mullerian ducts. And then in the letter C, we have the normal female gonads. Uh, in the letter D, we have the male, the early castrate. As you can see the Mullerian ducts here. They did bilaterally cut the Wolffian ducts, which will resort to here will result to having a normal female Mullerian ducts. Removal. Wait lang po, Doc. Sorry. Kinakabahan lang po ng konti. Dito po sa letter D, dahil wala yung Wolffian ducts natin, yung Mullerian ducts natin will not degenerate because here absent po yung AMH natin or our anti-Mullerian hormone. Here mape-preserve lang yung Mullerian ducts natin. And here sa letter E, the female early castrate, here uh, we did remove the bilaterally removal of the ovaries. Here, continue pa rin yung ano dito, yung pag-develop nung Mullerian ducts natin dito, kahit na wala siyang ovaries, hindi naman magde-degenerate kasi we don't have AMH here kasi nga wala yung Wolffian ducts natin. And then in the letter F, we have a unilateral early castrate. Here male pa rin siya pero hindi rin magre-regress yung Mullerian ducts natin dito kasi we only did cut one Wolffian duct, one Mullerian duct. Here the patient will be virile lang. Kumbaga hindi siya pwedeng mag-i-stay lang siya as a male pero hindi siya pwedeng mag-reproduce. And then here in the letter G, we did remove here the testes The Wolffian duct will only the Wolffian duct will only preserve its structures, and then the Mullerian ducts hindi siya magre-regress kasi wala rin tayong AMH, which causes the Mullerian ducts to regress. Tapos kahit na nagbigay siya ng, it is treated with testosterone, hindi pa rin siya magre-regress kasi nga
Sige. Mag-repeat, ano ka na lang, repeat figure review ka na lang.
sige po,
Parang mas maguguluhan yung classmates mo with the
sige po, Doc.
explanations.
Sige po, Doc.
Okay?
Sorry po. Thank you po.
Dr. Jacinto, no? Repeat na lang siya. Tanongin kita, dun sa male early castrate, ano yung tinanggal? Wolffian duct ka?
Wolffian duct po, Doc.
Hindi. Yung gonads yung tinanggal. So in all of these situations, yung tinatanggal, yung gonads, yung testis or yung ovary. Okay? So dito tayo, no? So everyone, let's focus on this figure. Sige, so we see yung A, undifferentiated. So this is before everything, no? Before 6 weeks. Before any differentiation happens. Before any of the hormones, yung anti-Mullerian hormone, also known as the Mullerian inhibiting substance or testosterone, is released. Okay, yun yung undifferentiated. Now we have both male and female parts. Okay? And then, sa DNC, nandun lang yun, just so you see ano itsura ng normal male development or normal female development. No? So, sa male, what will develop are the Wolffian ducts. Sa female, what will develop are the Mullerian ducts. Okay? Sige. So, the Wolffian, siguro para mnemonic na rin, ano? For me, ang mnemonic ko, wolf, di ba? Parang medyo masculine yung image ng wolf, no? So yung tinatandaan ko, Wolffian duct is the one that is for the male, that will develop into the male genitalia, the internal genitalia. Okay, then Mullerian sa female. So, okay. So now let's focus on this letter D, no? Sige, kahit ako na mag-share, you can stop sharing. Okay, by the way, itong experiments na to, yung tinatanggal yung testes, ovaries, no, castration. Siyempre sa animals ginawa yan, hindi sa humans, no? Hindi naman pwede yan gawin sa humans. Okay. So, ayan, isa pa palang ano. Dr. Jacinto, hindi ba mas nakakalito yan? W man, tapos M woman. The mnemonic. Anyway, whichever works for you. Okay. Yan. So, yan. So, dito, sa letter D, early castrate, meaning tinanggal yung gonads, no? Before it has fully developed. Okay? So, dito, male, so genetically male, XY siya. XY siya, pero tinanggal na yung gonad before it actually developed, before it started releasing hormones. So, what happened? What happened, even though XY siya, XY yung genes, because tinanggal yung gonads, the genitalia is female. Okay? So this means that ito yung parang default, no? Default development is that the genitalia will follow the female pattern of development, no? Yun yung default natin. And then we see that emphasize ito sa E, female early castrate, no? So XX, tinanggal yung gonads, female pa rin yung development, no? Female pa rin yung development. And then dito naman sa F, unilateral early castrate, so tinanggal lang yung isang gonad, one gonad was removed. So in the ipsilateral side of the removal, we see female development. Dun sa hindi tinanggal, where you have now the testis, naging male yung more of male yung development niya, no? So what does this tell us? Itong letter D, E, and F. So it tells us the importance of the gonads in male development. Okay? So you need the testes to develop in order for there to be male development of male genitalia. Okay? And then dito sa G and H, mas na-emphasize pa, ano yung ginagawa talaga ng testis? Ano ginagawa ng testis? So dito sa G, here we have early castrate pero binigyan ng testosterone. Okay? Binigyan ng testosterone. So what did we observe? Is testosterone or what is the role of testosterone? Okay? So we compare D and G. So nagkaiba lang sa D versus G is the presence of testosterone. And what do we see dito sa G? Hindi lang testosterone yung importante. No? Yes, testosterone will promote development of the internal genitalia, pero may kulang pa, no? Because the testis secretes another substance, not just testosterone. No? The testis also secretes the Mullerian inhibiting substance, MIS, also known as anti-Mullerian hormone or AMH. Okay, so you need both. Testosterone will help promote the development of the male genitalia, the Wolffian duct, but you also need the anti-Mullerian hormone or the Mullerian inhibiting substance para mawala yung Mullerian duct or hindi mag-develop yung Mullerian. Okay? And so, we also see the role of testosterone dito. Sa testosterone-treated female na nag-develop nga yung Wolffian, but because there's no Mullerian inhibiting substance, hindi nawala yung Mullerian duct. No? So, experiments G and H shows us the important or the role of testosterone and MIH. Okay? You need testosterone for the development of the male genitalia and you need MIH to suppress the development of the Mullerian duct. Clear ba yan? Okay? Any questions? Sige. So let's resume with the let's resume. Share ulit ako ng aking screen. Okay. Kita na yung screen ka? Thumbs up nga kung kita na. Okay. Sige. So, in the lecture, yung role ng ovaries, ng testis, when it develops, no, mas in-explain pa kailan exactly. No? So, it's identical until the 6th week, and then after that, it starts to differentiate into testis and ovaries. And then following that, you have also the changes in the genitalia. Okay. So, also in the lecture, yan what I explained about MIS, about testosterone, I explained pa more. Okay. So, now let's go to the next question. What is non-disjunction? No, now let's talk about some of the disorders in sexual differentiation. Okay. Now, so non-disjunction. So it is when some sister chromatids fail to separate during meiosis, leading to an extra or missing chromosome. Okay. So if you recall meiosis, diba, sa meiosis, the sister chromatids would need to separate from each other, and also tawag doon, the homologous pair. So like you separate the homologous pair and then you separate the sister chromatids, no? In your meiosis. So pag meron dong separation na hindi nangyari, then you have an extra chromosome. Okay? You have an extra chromosome or possibly a missing chromosome, yung Kung hindi nga nag-separate, so merong nawalan, merong natagdagan na daughter cell, no? If a separation does not happen. So if you have an extra chromosome and that affected the extra or missing chromosome, and then that affected the sex chromosomes, then you have some of these. It could cause some of these disorders, no, of sexual differentiation. So let's look at the next one. Okay, so the most common sex chromosome disorder is male genitalia but abnormal seminiferous tubules. So that is your Klinefelter syndrome. Ito, no, XXY. And here, XO, sex chromosome. So isa lang yung sex chromosome. Poor gonadal development. So that is your Turner syndrome or gonadal dysgenesis. Okay, both the testes and ovaries are present. So if both testes and ovaries are present, that is true hermaphroditism, and this is more rare because usually you either follow the male or the female development ng gonads. And then this one, XY chromosomes, but phenotypically male. So XY, but the phenotype is, sorry, sinabi ko male, but is phenotypically female, no? So this is due to androgen resistance, no? So meron siya nung XY chromosomes and also the testes, but because of resistance to androgens, meaning meron testosterone, pero the response to the testosterone yung wala, no? Maybe problem with the receptors or and such, no? So the effect of testosterone is not seen, and so the phenotype is female, no? Okay? So siguro something I want you to notice, syempre kung merong Y, diba? If you have a Y chromosome, what will develop again? If you have a Y chromosome, Y determines what? The presence of testes. Okay? So dahil ito, XXY, dahil meron siyang Y, genitalia is male. No? Genitalia is male. Ito, isa lang X, isang X. No? So, it will, this person will still develop into female. No? Typically, female ang development. Kasi yun yung default development. Diba? Basta walang X, it will develop into, the gonads will develop into female. And the Mullerian duct will develop. Okay? Itong YO, bakit siya lethal? Because if you look at the number of genes in the X and the Y, yung X, if you seen a picture of the sex chromosomes, yung picture ba ako dito? Parang pala. If you seen a picture of the sex chromosomes, yung X and Y, yung X chromosome is much larger than the Y chromosome. No? So mas maraming genes yung X. Mas importante siya for life. Okay? So if the fertilized embryo is missing the X chromosome, hindi siya mabubuhay. Okay? Sige. Any questions? Any questions dito? Any questions? So ito yung androgen resistance. Okay, so there's testosterone, there's MIS, but because of poor response to those hormones, female yung development ng genitalia. But still no internal genitalia because yun nga merong MIS, no? But the appearance is female. Questions? Any questions? Okay. Then this one, let's look at puberty. So Masha-Term is its description, menarche, pubarche, and telarche. So menarche is menses, pubarche is pubic hair, and then telarche is development of the breasts. Okay? So those are some of the events in puberty. So syempre yung telarche sa females, no? pubarch in both males and females. Menarche, syempre, sa females lang din. Okay? So, telarch is usually the first event. And then, so we also mentioned here the different, the typical age where it starts. And we also mentioned here in the lecture that there are cases where it can start too early. No, yung precocious puberty. No, precocious puberty. So it starts too early and completes too early. So you have children na hindi pa teenager, but we see that the development of secondary sexual characteristics mukhang mas advanced na, no? And then we have the staging, the Tanner staging dito. Which statements are true of Tanner staging? So this is how we stage the progress of puberty. So in all criteria, Tanner 5 is the highest stage. That's true. At ano ba yung kinahanap na criteria? So in males, penis and pubic hair. In females, breast and pubic hair. No? So that's the Tanner staging. I won't have you memorize this. Ano lang, awareness lang. Okay? Hindi ko naman kayo analyze ng Tanner stage. Siguro kahit yung start and end lang. Ano ba yung start? Ano ba yung hindi pa developed? At ano yung completely developed na? No? So one thing to remember about Tanner staging is that this does not correlate, completely correlate or exactly correlate with age. Okay? We know naman that the rate of development or how fast puberty happens, when puberty starts, when puberty ends, no, it can be variable. It can be variable. So you can have like say 18-year-old, 20-year-old, pero baka hindi pa niya completely naabot yung Tanner 5, no, in all aspects, no? Or like in precocious puberty na naabot niya yung Tanner 5 even though ano pa lang siya, say 13 years old, 12 years old, no? So the rate at which this happens can vary depending on the individual, and it does not correlate exactly with the age of the individual. Okay. Sige, any questions? Any questions about sex differentiation, sex determination? Any questions? Okay, so clear yung role ng chromosomes, XX and XY, why the Y chromosome is important, and then anong importance ng testis in causing the development of the male and female genitalia, and then also that disorders can happen. Merong missing chromosome, may extra chromosome, or merong poor response to the hormones, no, that can all affect the development of the gonads and of the phenotype. Okay, questions? Questions? Okay, kung walang questions, move tayo sa male reproductive. Stop muna ako. Okay. Okay. So first question was arrange the steps in the correct order. No? So, nandito makita natin yung steps of spermatogenesis. Yeah. Okay, so we start with spermatocytogenesis, which involves mitosis to create the stem cells, the spermatocytes. And then the spermatocytes will undergo meiosis. Syempre, in meiosis, you have two steps. You have 1 and 2. Okay. Diba? We separate first uh, the homologous chromosomes, and then we separate the chromatids. Okay. And then sa spermiogenesis is the next step. What's important here in spermiogenesis, the appearance drastically changes. Okay? The appearance drastically changes. So we see in the illustration, diba, in almost every step, ano siya, mukhang bilog lang siya, bilog na cell, no? Syempre, it's very simplified dito sa illustration, no? But it's only here in spermiogenesis, the fourth step, where it acquires the typical appearance of the sperm. No? That's the spermiogenesis. So the nucleus is lost, cytoplasm, kukonti na lang, and then the tail appears. Okay, and then last step is spermiation, where it's now released into the lumen. Okay, so any questions dito sa steps na to? Any questions? No questions? Okay, and then what happens to those mature sperm cells? They are stored in the epididymis, no? They're stored in the epididymis, where they further develop even more, no? They undergo a little bit more maturation, development. And then it's very important to note that in the epididymis, the sperm are decapacitated. No? They're unable to fertilize while they're in storage. And then it needs to undergo capacitation. So yun yung tanong dito, which is true of sperm capacitation. So sperm capacitation, you basically restore their ability to fertilize. No? Decapacitation, they become unable to fertilize. No? Parang na-disable sila. And then sperm capacitation, that ability to fertilize is enabled again. Ibabalik natin. Okay? And where does this happen? Not in the epididymis, not in the testis. It happens in the female genital tract. Okay? It occurs in the female genital tract. And these are some of the events involved. Okay? You wash away the inhibitory factors and you help with the activation of the enzymes, no, in the acrosome. So here we have some of the enzymes that are needed during fertilization. So kailangan din siyang ihanda, no, para mas mapadali yung release of enzymes. And also important yung motility. You increase the motility para pwede na siya mag-swim. So any questions? Questions? Also, nandito rin sa lecture, the basic anatomy of the male reproductive tract. No? So, hindi ko na tinanong dito. Very simple lang naman. So, make sure you know the tubes na dinadaanan ng sperm. Okay? No? From the testis hanggang palabas. Okay? Saan siya dumadaan? And siguro, itong vas deferens, isang clinical relevance niya, di ba, sa vasectomy, yan yung kinakat, the vasectomy. Kaya nagiging infertile. No? So if you cut the vas deferens, ito, and we see anong purpose ng vas deferens, siya yung danadaanan ng sperm. No? From the epididymis, and you have the vas deferens, no? And then prostate, yun, no? So if you cut this, na hindi na makakalabas yung sperm from the epididymis, and then the male becomes infertile. Okay, and then next one about the Sertoli cells. okay, which are true of the Sertoli cells. So in the testis, we have two cells, huh? The Leydig and the Sertoli cells, the two important cells, no? Leydig and the Sertoli cells. So what's the role of the Sertoli cells? So dito, we see that it does everything except for production of testosterone, and that testosterone is the job of the Leydig cells. No? So the Sertoli cells are also known as the nurse cells kasi sila yung mainly involved in maturing the sperm. Okay. Sige, for more details on this, let's have the next figure review. Sino to ulit? Si Marcelino. Stop share ulit ako.
Start na po ako, Doc.
Mhm.
Okay. Good morning, everyone, and good morning, classmates. I am Grace Marcelino, and today, my figure review is about the physiology of the Leydig and the Sertoli cells. Before we dive into the figure, let us talk about what we are currently seeing. On the very far left, ay, Doc, sorry po, nag-echo po ba?
Parang may konti, pero hindi naman distracting.
Sige po, sorry. Alright, on the very far left of the image, we observe the Leydig cell. This is situated within the interstitial space. And then here we have the capillary. It represents the vascular compartment that serves as the pathway for hormones coming from the brain and the exit for hormones entering the general circulation. And on the right, we have the Sertoli cell, which forms the structural wall of the seminiferous tubules. Now that also these arrows are the pathways for these hormones that will be discussed later on. All right. On the functional cycle begins when the luteinizing hormone arrives at the Leydig cell via the capillary. And it will bind to its specific receptor. So here it is the luteinizing hormone receptor. And then this binding activates a stimulatory G protein. Now this G protein in turn activates the enzyme adenylyl cyclase. So yung ginagawa ng adenylyl cyclase, it will convert ATP into CAMP or cyclic AMP, which is a secondary messenger to activate the pathway or protein kinase A pathway. Now, the signaling pathway enters the nucleus to initiate new protein synthesis. So, essentially, yung cell na ito, it will undergo transcription and translation of specific stereogenic enzymes. The Leydig cell synthesizes and stores cholesterol and builds specific enzymes such as cytochrome P450, side chain cleavage, and then there's also the 3-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase and 17-beta hydroxysteroid dehydrogenase type 3. Now, these enzymes chemically transform cholesterol into testosterone. Kaya there's an increased testosterone level into the Leydig cell. Now, the presence of testosterone has two pathways. First, it could either go to the capillary to become a peripheral testosterone, which is responsible for systemic effects like erythropoiesis, could also increase muscle mass. Then second, a significant portion of this testosterone diffuses directly across the interstitial space. It diffuses paracrinely also. And once it diffuses, it goes into the Sertoli cell to drive the production of sperm, or spermatogenesis. Now that we have arrived here in the Sertoli cell, let us talk about the FSH receptor or follicle stimulating hormone. It is also the same with Leydig cell, pero yung pinakaiba dito is instead of LH, it is the presence of FSH. Same pathway, FSH will arrive to Sertoli cell and activate or will bind to its FSH receptor. And then the G sub S or G protein will be activated, and in return, adenyl cyclase will also activate the protein kinase A pathway to, and then it will enter the nucleus to produce new protein synthesis. Yung pinagkaiba lang naman dito or ang pinakaiba nila from the Leydig cell is marami siyang product. Meron tayong androgen binding protein, what is one of the critical protein hormones produced in the Sertoli cell. Now, this protein is secreted into the lumen of the tubule, and then where it acts as a magnet to trap the testosterone locally. And because of this protein, the level of testosterone inside the testes and in the areas close to the Sertoli cells are approximately 100 times higher than the levels of the testosterone circulating in the general blood supply. Additionally, the Sertoli also produces inhibin, or to be specific, inhibin B. It is a protein hormone that travels back through the blood to provide negative feedback. It provides negative feedback sa pituitary gland to specifically slow down the production of follicle-stimulating hormone when the sperm counts are adequate. Then, the Sertoli cell also contains an enzyme called aromatase. It converts some of the incoming testosterone into estradiol. So, makikita natin dito sa estradiol, meron siyang two arrows din. The arrow moving back to the Leydig cell represents local regulation. It prevents the Leydig cell from over-responding to luteinizing hormone. And then, the arrow entering the capillaries represents systemic signaling and negative feedback as well. Dito, pwedeng pumasok yung hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis feedback. Kaya, once estradiol is in the blood, it travels to the hypothalamus and the anterior pituitary. It basically says na the testis is active, you can slow down the stimulatory signal. And lastly, for the Sertoli cell, there is the presence of growth factors and other products. An example for the growth factor is the insulin-like growth factor 1 or IGF-1, which also moves back towards the Leydig cell or moves towards the Leydig cell rather, and it upregulates LH receptors. Now, insulin-like growth factor 1 is a critical paracrine regulator in the testes. It ensures that the Leydig cell responsiveness to the LH or luteinizing hormone by increasing the number of LH receptors. Kaya yung sensitivity ng Leydig cells to LH is essential for maintaining high levels of testosterone production, which is necessary for spermatogenesis and male fertility. Now, all in all, the interdependence between these two cells is highlighted by the exchange of growth factors and the conversion of hormones. And that will be all for my figure review. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Other questions from other students? Ay, sige, wait lang. Wag mo manang i-alisin yung share. May questions ba from the others? From the faculty? Okay. Sige, no? So, i-clarify lang natin. No? So, if you have a problem with the Leydig cell, nasira yung Leydig cell, how will that affect the Sertoli cell?
Hindi po makakapag-produce ng testosterone po. Ma-affect din po yung spermatogenesis na ginagawa ng Sertoli cell po.
Mhm.
And
Okay
then,
na.
ayun po.
Sige. Ano pa? Ano pang effect? So, kung kulang yung testosterone, i-affect spermatogenesis and also,
Kapag affected din po, yung pwede po ba ma-affect dito yung sa may estradiol, and
mhm.
then yung estradiol po, hindi niya po ma-upregulate or yung sa new protein synthesis or yung negative feedback niya po.
Okay. No. Okay, no? So, that's correct. So, so here in this illustration, we see how the two cells interact, no? How both cells are important for proper sperm production and also for proper hormone production as well as for the feedback mechanisms that's involved. Okay, so very good. In any questions pa, follow-up questions? Kung wala na, sige, thank you. Ako na ulit mag-share. Okay, let's go back to the PowerPoint and the questions. Okay, so we know now the role of the Sertoli cells and also of the Leydig cells and how they interact. And then we mentioned that the Leydig cells produce testosterone. No? So para saan ba ang testosterone besides being very important for spermatogenesis? So of course, it also is responsible for the male secondary sexual characteristics. But yung ating testosterone is also converted to dihydrotestosterone. Tapos there can be differences no, in their effects. Some actions are or effects are produced just by DHT, some by by the testosterone itself. No? So tingnan natin ano ba yung dihydrotestosterone, ano yung sa but not for testosterone. No? So tingnan natin. Sa DHT, you see, and beard growth. Okay, itong increased LDL, saan siya? Increased LDL, so kaya yun ng testosterone. Deeper voice, saan siya? Deeper voice, larynx, so that's also testosterone. Increased muscle mass, testosterone. Increased bone density, so sa skeleton, that's effect of the testosterone. Prostate enlargement, dihydrotestosterone. Sebum formation dito, no dihydrotestosterone din. Okay? So these are many of these are the part of the male secondary sexual characteristics, no, beard, male pattern of hair growth, the voice, and then we see an effect also on the cholesterol levels, no, which perhaps can help explain why males generally are at higher risk, no, for cardiovascular problems. And then we see an effect on muscle mass, the skeleton. No? So the males in general have more muscle mass and higher bone density than females. So any questions so far? Okay. And then if no questions, sige, let's go to the axis. Hypothalamic pituitary testicular axis. Okay. So which are true of the axis. So, mnemonic natin, di ba? FSH, Sertoli, and LH, Leydig. And then, meron ditong two questions about intratesticular testosterone and peripheral testosterone. Okay? So, we have two pools of testosterone, and it is the peripheral that will feed back, not the intratesticular. And this will be explained even more by our next or our last figure review. Ready na ba?
Yes po, Doc.
Okay.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So earlier we talked about the normal spermatogenesis. So now we'll talk about the effect of exogenous androgen in the hypothalamic pituitary testis axis. First, let's define muna. Wait. LH is the luteinizing hormone. T is testosterone. ABP is the androgen binding protein, and ST is the seminiferous tubules. So let us take note that there are two pools in this figure, one here in the blood and the other in the testis. First, when exogenous androgen like testosterone injections or anabolic steroids is injected in the body, it will now circulate in the blood here. So this will increase the circulating androgen in the body, and this will be detected by the hypothalamus and the pituitary. This increased androgen circulating in the body will now lead to excessive negative feedback. So this excessive negative feedback will now lower the levels of luteinizing hormone produced, and this will lead to lowered Leydig cells too and the lowered intratesticular levels. So we're now here in the testis. This testosterone will now diffuse in the seminiferous tubules. In here, we have the Sertoli cells, which normally interacts with the testosterone and will now form the androgen binding protein. Now, testosterone will bind with this and will form the ABPT complex. So this ABPT complex will keep the high concentrations of testosterone in the seminiferous tubules for normal spermatogenesis to occur. Pero since lowered nga yung levels ng testosterone natin, there are less testosterone to bind. Because of that, this will weaken the testosterone environment in the seminiferous tubule, leading to insufficient spermatogenesis or reduced sperm production, and it may now lead to infertility. So, we should also note that there is a phenomenon which we call the loophole in the axis. This happens because the hypothalamus and the pituitary only detects the blood testosterone. So even though there is insufficient spermatogenesis, since blood testosterone yung nadedetect niya, excessive negative feedback will still occur, and this will lower all the levels ng hormones and cell dito. Kaya hindi pa rin siya, even though you insert testosterone in the body or inject, it will still lead to insufficient spermatogenesis. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, may questions ba from other students and other faculty?
So, ano mangyayari sa testis niya?
Kung binigyan ng exogenous androgen.
Oo.
Yung exogenous androgen pa will still go to the testis naman. Pero hindi po siya magiging enough. Since 100 times higher concentration po siya sa testis than blood.
Siguro morphology.
So parang anong magiging? So, kunyari, so previously healthy person, gusto niya mag-bodybuild, mag-inject siya ng exogenous na testosterone, no? Tapos, anong magiging effect ngayon sa testis niya overall?
Ah, yung sa Magsi-shrink daw. Sa sterility po, magiging lead po sa sterility po ba?
Okay. Dr. Dan, okay ka na doon?
Okay, okay na.
Okay. Sige. So, so again, no, for emphasis, we see that the hypothalamus and pituitary responds to the testosterone in the blood, but not directly to the testosterone inside the testis. Huh? It responds to testosterone in the blood and not directly to testosterone levels in the testis. And so, if someone injects exogenous androgens, exogenous testosterones, although as we see in the graph, in the figure, I mean, the exogenous testosterone can still enter the testis, pero wala siyang masyadong effect, no? Because the testis needs 100 times more testosterone. Okay? Hindi ka naman pwede mag-inject din ng 100 times more testosterone. Masyado naman yung, toxic na. Of course, we want just the right amount of the hormone, no? And excessive amounts, syempre maraming side effects din. Okay, so if someone injects exogenous androgens, exogenous testosterone, it will cause negative feedback. Okay, it will cause negative feedback, hypothalamus and pituitary. So, decrease na ang secretions niya, LH, FSH, and it would cause decreased function of the testis. Masasuppress na yung testis because suppress yung hypothalamus and pituitary. Pero anong effect on the rest of the body? Pag nag-inject siya ng exogenous androgens, meron namang effect.
Yung sa muscle mass po.
Okay. So, yung nakita natin in the previous slide, ibang effect ng testosterone, meron naman, no? Pero suppressed yung testis. Okay? Sige, any questions pa? Kung wala na, okay, thank you. Okay. Now we go to the last part. Okay, no? So ito yung axis. And then we go to the last part, the male sexual act. No? By the way, na-discuss din dito sa lecture what else happens in the epididymis. No? So we have storage and decapacitation, further maturation. And we also have accessory glands because the semen is not just sperm, pero meron din siyang iba pang secretions. And you have these glands contributing to those secretions, mainly the seminal vesicles, no, responsible for 60 to 70% of the semen volume, prostate gland 20 to 30% of the semen volume. Okay, and they have these specific secretions, no? So to also remember those. Yan. So ito, components of the semen. And then the last part of the lecture was on the male sexual act involving 4 stages, no? Erection, lubrication, emission, and ejaculation. So ano yung descriptions nila? Okay, so the first one is erection. Ang mnemonic dito, point and shoot, no? Point and shoot. P, parasympathetic, no, sa erection. And then shoot, sympathetic, no, for emission and ejaculation. Okay, so erection, parasympathetic, involves increased nitric oxide. Para sa nitric oxide? To cause vasodilation so that the penis will fill up with blood. And then next, lubrication is also parasympathetic. We have lubricating secretions from the bulbourethral and, oops, wrong spelling pala to, urethral glands. And then emission. Emission, you have hindi pa sa labas, no? Pero it will just move out of the epididymis, will be transported, okay, into the proximal urethra, emission, followed by ejaculation. So you have contractions of several muscles that will help propel the semen out of the urethra. Okay, so erection, so you have nitric oxide, no? To relax the arterioles and fill up the penis with blood. Okay, lubrication, emission, and ejaculation. And also in the lecture, it was mentioned yung some drugs for erectile dysfunction. Okay, so CGMP phosphodiesterase inhibitors. Ano ba yung role ng CGMP phosphodiesterase? So let's look again at this. No, so if you inhibit the CGMP phosphodiesterase, so you inhibit the breakdown of the CGMP, so you prolong the action of the CGMP and you prolong the erection. So that's the effect of your drugs like Viagra. Okay, abnormal spermatogenesis. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? Male repro? Any questions? Bilis lang tayo. Any questions before we end? Any questions before we end? No questions. Going once. Going twice. Okay. Sige. Meron bang announcements, Dr. Jacinto, before we wrap up for this morning? Wala namang announcements. Okay. Sige. So, use this time. Kung hindi nyo pa napanood yung uploaded lectures, please use this time to do so. Tapos, uploaded na rin ba yung for female? Uploaded na ba yung female? Let me check. Okay. So, meron din naka-upload for female. Okay. Yan, long weekend. So, mag-aral din, no, during the long weekend. Okay. So, if no other, ayan, may question?
Doc, yung next week daw po ba sync or face-to-face na po?
Sige, ano ba yung schedule natin next week?
Face-to-face
Sync lang
week po.
yata. Alam po, online lang eh. Synchronous.
Online. Online. Okay. Online. Next week.
Okay po, Doc. Thank you po.
Okay, mahalanggas. Sige. So, no other questions? Okay, kung wala na, okay na tayo.